Big Bad Baby was a wildly successful rapper at just 22. He'd already bought himself a mansion, a symbol of his rapid rise to fame. On his way home one evening, Carl, known to the world as Big Bad Baby, was preparing for an interview with Selena West, a well-known journalist. Carl was used to the spotlight, and today was no different. The cameras, lights, and everything were set up in his luxurious living room, ready for the interview. Selena began, "So, Big Bad Baby, here we are in your crib. Mind if I call you Triple B?" Carl looked around the room, taking in the scene before responding. "Nah, it's all right with me." Selena smiled and continued, "I've noticed in the rap game that you and a lot of other rappers use terms like crib and call yourselves things like Big Baby or Bad Baby. What's the deal with rap and this whole infantilization thing?" Carl, or Big Bad Baby, shifted uncomfortably in his seat. "I don't know, y'all," he began, his tone uncertain. "I guess 'cause we love our mamas so much. You know what I mean?" Selena nodded. "I know what you mean. But do you want to be a baby again, Carl?" Her question caught Carl off guard, and frustration flared in his eyes. "Yo, what you asking me that for?" "It's a serious question," Selena pressed. "Why don't you answer it?" Carl stood up, anger rising. "Yo, turn off the cameras. This interview is over." Before he could leave, the cameraman approached Carl and, in a shocking twist, stuck him with a needle. An hour later, Carl awoke, groggy and disoriented. "What's going on, man?" he muttered, looking down to find himself in a giant diaper. A pacifier was strapped to his head, a baby bonnet perched on top, and mittens bound his hands. He was in a crib, an enormous one, about 8'6" with a padlocked top. Panic surged through him. He tried to scream, but the pacifier muffled his cries. Desperation set in as he struggled to free himself, but the crib's bars held firm. Selena walked into the room, a cold smile on her face. "Hello, Carl. Or should I say Carly? How's my little baby doing?" Carl's muffled screams grew louder, but Selena remained unfazed. "Bad babies need to calm down," she chided, her voice dripping with sarcasm. When his cries persisted, Selena's patience wore thin. "Do you want out of this situation or not?" she snapped. "Then stop yelling." Carl, realizing the gravity of his predicament, fell silent. Selena sat down in a chair, her demeanor shifting from anger to a disturbing calm. "I'm sick of what's happening," she began, her voice low and measured. "I'm sick of the infantilization of men. Women don't want their husbands to be babies. They want actual babies. They don't want their boyfriends to be babies. They want real men. But nobody wants to grow up anymore, especially in the rap game." Carl listened in horror as Selena continued. "All you do is call yourselves these ridiculous names, baby this and baby that, and you call your homes cribs like you don't want to grow up. And always talking about your mama. Nobody cares about your mama. You dress like gangsters, but you still wear clothes with cartoon characters on them. Men stormed the beaches in World War II, and now you're all like this." Selena paused, her eyes narrowing. "I'm going to give you what you want, Carl. I'm going to take all the responsibility away from you. You're going to be the big bad baby again." Carl screamed once more, but the pacifier stifled his voice. Selena, growing tired of the sound, asked, "Do you want me to take that thing off?" He nodded desperately. She leaned in, unlocking the pacifier, and it fell to his neck like a twisted necklace. "Damn, lady!" Carl began, but he stopped himself. He knew better than to push Selena any further. "Are you hungry or anything?" Selena asked. "Yeah, man, I gotta eat," he replied. "Will you be good?" Selena asked. Carl thought about giving a sarcastic answer, but he could see the ball was in Selena's court, and there wasn't much he could do. "Yeah, man, I could eat," he said quietly. Selena left the room. There wasn't much that Carl could see in the room besides the chair. The walls were white and the light was dim, with most of the illumination focused on his crib. He looked down at the giant, thick diaper he was wearing. It had teddy bears and play blocks on it. He tried to take it off, but the mittens made it nearly impossible, and it was secured pretty well. He wasn't sure how, but he knew he wouldn't be able to take it off. He sat in the corner and thought for about 20 minutes or so, though he had no way of telling the time. Selena walked back into the room with a jar of baby food already open. "You want to eat, Carl?" she asked. "Yeah, man, I want to eat," he replied. Selena took the chair and moved it closer to the crib, preparing to spoon-feed him. Carl didn't know how to respond. He knew he could feed himself, but to get out of this situation, he might have to cooperate. "Okay, man, feed me." Selena took the spoon, dipped it into the baby food, and put it in Carl's mouth. She continued until the food was completely gone. All Carl could think about was how bland the food was. He finally finished eating, and Selena took the jar away. Then Selena said in an angry, slightly sarcastic tone, "Is there anything else my baby wants?" "I'm thirsty, man. Can you give me some water?" Selena agreed. "I'll be back," she said, leaving the room for about another 20 minutes or so. But once again, Carl couldn't tell because he had no sense of time. He thought about whether anyone knew he was missing, whether anyone could find him. He wondered if anybody even knew he was gone. Selena finally came back with a baby bottle filled with a purple liquid and handed it to him through the bars of the crib. He could barely hold it, but he managed to put it up to his mouth with his mittened hands and drank as fast as he could. It was refreshing, but it had a weird aftertaste. After he finished, Selena asked, "All done?" "Yeah, man," he replied. "Put your head back next to the bar. I need to put the baby's pacifier back in," Selena instructed. "No way, man. No way," Carl protested. "Are you sure?" Selena asked. "Yeah, man," he said. Selena then took a device out of her pocket that looked like a TV remote. She pressed a button, and Carl felt a mild shock. "Aw, man," he exclaimed. "I can turn it up higher. Are you going to cooperate?" Selena warned. "Yeah, man," Carl conceded, putting the back of his head next to the crib's bars. Selena lifted the pacifier and secured it back in his mouth. Now he couldn't take it off. "It's bedtime," Selena announced. Carl thought to himself that he wasn't tired, but she turned off all the lights. The only light in the room came from a small nightlight shaped like a half-moon with a cow jumping over it. Carl tried to resist sleep, but the strangest thing happened. He started to feel incredibly foggy and then passed out. When he awoke, he didn't know how long it had been. Selena walked into the room and said, "You want to see your playroom? If you're good, I'll take you out of the crib and show it to you." Thank you for tuning in to this edition of Mommy Sarah's Story Time. If you enjoyed the stories, please support the channel by liking and subscribing. Remember, my channel is not monetized, and I write most of the content myself. On occasions when I don't, it's sourced through emails from trusted contacts. Please feel free to like, share, and subscribe. If you're able to, consider making a donation to support our channel. Your support means a lot. Thank you so much for watching, and I look forward to sharing more stories with you.